Hello guys, this is the Retro Guy. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this little box that I just bought out of eBay. So this is a Mac serial data transfer switch, as you can see here. So it's an 8-pin female, kind of like allows you to switch serial components on a Mac. So for example, this, you connect like a printer to this, you connect the Mac, sorry, no, a printer. Yeah, so you connect a printer here in the input-output port, and then you connect the Macs on the serial ports in the connections here, A, B, C, and D. And then you switch over to the ones you want by using this knob here. So there is a dial selector that basically allows you to select which one you want. Of course, I don't want to use that for printers. I don't really have printers connected to my Macs, but what I do want to do is use this as sort of like an ADB selector. So I would basically connect my keyboard to the input output here, and then connect the Macs to the A, B, C, and D ports. And hopefully what I want to achieve is being able to switch between the Macs here so that the keyboard will be assigned to them. By doing that, I save up a lot of space in my table by having only one keyboard and mouse for 2 or more Macs. And that's mainly the ultimate goal. The problem is those are not ADB connectors. Those are DIN8 connectors. So ADB are DIN4. Looking at the connections here, from what I imagine, so this is a totally passive box. It's not like a power fed or anything like that. So it would be safe, I think, to assume that if I could connect an ADB to those ports here, basically the wires that connects to the selector here, it doesn't really matter if it is like serial or ADB, it's basically going to switch them between one another in a coherent way, I think. So what I try to do here is this. Let me show you. So I took an ADB cable. So I've got an ADB cable here, and I basically, looking at the pinouts, I realized that the ADB basically is a 4-pin instead of 8-pin, but the only thing that prevents the ADB to connect to the serial port or a printer port in a Mac is really a little tab that exists here, you see, right up. So I removed that tab, see, so I basically used a plier and I removed it. And if you try to connect now this to a DIN8 connector, it actually goes through. So let me connect to port B here. So it connects perfectly, you see, which tells me that there is a chance that this could work. Again, like I have no clue whether or not this is going to go, if it is going to work or not, so I really have to test it. So I open it up just to see how the cables connect to the selector, and as far as I can tell, like as you can see, the cables are really wired in a way that it's kind of like obeying the same order, so they follow the same pattern, which tells me that the 4 pins that are used on the ADB should be able to be switched over using the selector here. So I'm going to try this out today. So I opened this to examine the wiring and also to check the condition of the box. This is a very old box. As you can see, the condition is great. I didn't even clean this. It was like this when I opened it. I already cleaned the front bezel, so it looks pretty much like new. And that's it. So I'm going to close it up. I'm going to connect a keyboard to a Mac and to this box and see if that fires up, like if it works. If it does, success. And you guys will know that you can actually use the serial selector DIN8 to attach keyboards as well, providing you remove the little tab on the DIN4 or ADB connectors. If it doesn't work, well, my loss, I paid like 15 quid for this, so it's not really like a lot of money, and I can leave it that. Okay, so talk to you as soon as I start the test. Hey guys, back. So I tested it off cam and it failed miserably. So basically what happened is this is the in-out connector, and it seems that it's basically reversed. So all the pins in this one here, which is basically where I'm going to plug the keyboard, is reversed with all the other ones here. So what I've done is, well, I'm still in the process. I removed the wires I'm not going to be needing. So this had like 8 wires like those other ones here. As you can see, 8 wires here. On the white one, I removed all the 4 wires that are not going to be needed for the ADB connection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse those 4 wires. So I'm going to put those 2 here to the other side and vice versa. And we're going to see how that plays. So still going to do that. I need to basically desolder and resolder those pins in the other way around and then retest it. That's really all that needs to be done. I don't need to touch the others because they're pretty much fine. So I found out that they were reversed because basically I use a multimeter here to test. So if I put the selector in like A and I touch a pin in the white one here, and on the A, which is this guy here, I touch the reverse pin, then I could basically hear the beep on my multimeter, which means there was current crossing it. So yeah, that's how I found it out. So let me try to do that. I'm going to then reverse the pins here on the white one, put everything back together. Well, before I'm going to test it and then put everything back together, hopefully with this working. I'll get back to you guys on that. Okay, so I ready for testing. So what I've done here is I took that, this is the input-output plug, and this is the one connected to the keyboard. As you see here, I'm testing the idea that I mentioned before. I'm reversing the pins, and then the computer is connected to letter A here, as you can see, right? So it supports up to 4 computers connected to a single keyboard if that goes. And so the selector here is set to output A, which is this here. And now we are going to see if my idea confirms. So basically what I detected before is that the pins were reversed, right? So input was reversing the output. So I swapped that using those jump cables here through the pin that connects to the keyboard. So let's give it a shot now. Okay, so, and there we go. So my suspicious was correct. It basically was reversed. So it's a very easy fix. I just need to take those 4 white cables here and reverse them in the pinouts of this connector here. So just reverse those 4 wires that you see there, and that should give a permanent working switching module to basically connect several different keyboards and mice to a bunch of different Macs like this one here. So the only thing that is missing for me to test now that we know that this apparently is working, so I have to test the mouse as well, make sure that the mouse is responding, and of course test the keyboard. It is powering on, which is already like a good thing, but I need to make sure it's actually writing and everything else. So the mouse pointer is already showing in the screen, which means I should be able to move it. Yeah, it's moving. So yeah, it seems to be a success. I think it was fairly obvious because before reversing it, when I connected the keyboard to the box here, it basically like the computer powered up right away. I didn't have to press anything, which means basically it was shortened the pins that requires basically the for the computer to power up. So yeah, reversing them basically did the trick. So one thing that I'm going to test now is basically, you know, moving the mouse around a little bit further, and also like opening like a text document or something like that and try to type something, see if the keyboard is actually responding the way it should. And in that working, I'm going to last test is to plug the computer into another output, like B for example, and turn the dial onto the B position and see if that works. So that will basically conclude the task. So let me open a text application here, like simple text. So the mouse is working flawlessly, which is a good sign. And so is the keyboard, as you can see. So I'm typing and it's working perfect. So what I'm going to do now is again just test swapping the computer ADB to another board. Ideally, you should not do that, like hot swap the keyboards. At least that's what I read. No, Macintoshes are not prepared to hot swap the keyboards, but I would do that anyways. Like I have done this a lot of times before and then never had an issue, so I'm not going to reboot for that. So I'm plugging into option B here. Just bear with me. It's very difficult with only one hand. So it's on B now. So I'm going to turn the dial into the next position, which is B. So again, just bear with me. I need to put just need to basically yeah, I need two hands to do that. So let's see. Done. And again, yeah, it's working. Like mouse is working fine, and probably the keyboard is also working. So again, simple text here, and yeah, we got a working switchboard, which is amazing. Like again, like 15 quid for it, almost like brand new condition. It was never opened before, and inside it looks very, very clean. And yeah, that's great. So that will save up a lot of space on my table, so I can have only one keyboard with working with up to 4 Macs. So that's a tip for you guys. If you see any of those, you know, printer Mac serial or printer switches, eBay, normally they are going for very low prices because nobody wants them. And it's very easy to basically convert them for ADB switch. So you can plug like a single keyboard and mouse and work with like, depending on the switchboard you have, but in my case up to 4 different computers, Macs, right? So that concludes the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.